Well, we've got Rich Anthony on the line with us here. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yep, I'm doing great. Now, you've got a new song called Don't Look Back, and it's kind of an interesting story behind it, right? Because you wrote it in the 80s and then recorded it in the 90s, and now it's out today in 2022.
Yeah, I was looking through some stuff. I even found it on cassette tape
Wow.
for like about a year ago. And then I just realized that no one could really hear it and it's not online anywhere. So I thought I'd put some effort in getting it online.
Yeah. And do you think that it's going to be quite popular? Because a lot of people will kind of like a song that's technically new, but has a nostalgic feel to it.
Well, I hope so, but yeah, I never know.
Yeah.
Just from friends and things that, they're like, they say that it gives them the 80s sort of memories back and stuff like that. So that's good to
Yeah.
hear. I've gotten some good compliments that way.
And how come you left it so long, really? Did you just have no intention in the first place of releasing it?
Well, back then it was online wasn't a thing. It
Yeah.
was a CD or a tape. So I did have it pressed into some tapes, and a CD, but it was never online. So nowadays people don't really listen to CDs much anymore, and I don't even do that anymore. I have a whole collection of hundreds of them just sitting on a shelf now.
Yeah, that's true. I guess music has opened up the world to people who would before struggle to get a song out there. Anyone can do it now.
Yeah, I heard Spotify has something like 40,000 new songs put on there every day.
Wow.
So it's pretty easy to get lost in that shuffle.
Yeah, there's lots of competition out there, I suppose. Do you think
Oh,
that
yeah.
you might actually do quite well compared to other people because your song has a unique thing of being recorded years ago?
I think if I found the right audience, a lot would like that. Yeah, but it's hard to find the audience all the time too.
Yeah, that's true. So, how would you describe the musical style of the song, really, overall? Because I guess there wasn't just one style back in the 80s and 90s. So, which one would it fall under?
Yeah, I've heard some people say it reminded them of Rick Astley.
Ooh.
Kind of a happy pop song.
Yeah, that's cool then, because Rick Astley is still popular these days, even with young generations. So this song's gonna work.
Yeah, I hope so. I made a video for the song also and put it on YouTube, and somebody commented on there, and they basically just put the words to Rick Astley's song, the old Rick rolled. I was like, oh, that's funny. I had to read a few lines and then I got it.
Yeah, and lyrically as well, is there a particular theme that comes along with it?
Just being positive about the future. It's called Don't Look Back, so
Yeah.
just don't focus on the past and just look ahead.
Yeah. Is that an ironic title, given that it is a musical style that is in the past that we're listening to?
Yeah, I thought about that. It was kind of odd, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's called Don't Look Back, and yet I'm looking back about 30 years.
Yeah, that's true. And as we're into a new year now as well, it is kind of important not to look back, isn't it? Because we should look forward at the start of the year, probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some good things this year.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a struggle sometimes last year.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And have you got any more songs coming up? Maybe ones that you've recorded back in the day or just ones from recently?
Yeah, I have more recent ones, and I just again realized how hard it is to get songs out there with 40,000 new songs put on Spotify every day.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do something with some newer songs, but I had the idea that I'll put these old ones out just kind of as a kind of just to try it, just to see if I can get a little following and stuff before I put out my new songs, because I don't want to just put them out without anyone listening to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And how many songs have you recorded then back in the day that you're able to release now?
I have a CD worth.
Wow.
I actually did two of them, but there's a few songs that I'm embarrassed to play.
Oh.
Back then, it was studio time was expensive. There wasn't home studios. You had to go in and pay by the hour. So there were some songs that I kind of just did what I thought was best, and just. But the years later, I look back and I think, oh, I wish I changed this or that.
Yeah, that's true, because most musicians will feel a little bit embarrassed about the first stuff they recorded because they weren't as good as how they would become. So I take it there is a lot of that, maybe, because you can't release everything that you did.
Yeah, I'm probably releasing half out of the two CDs that I did earlier.
Mm.
But even then, I hope people appreciate the little mistakes you might hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I mean, nowadays, auto tune just corrects everything.
Yeah.
There wasn't even auto tune back then. And I remember like sometimes I'd get a main vocal done and in just a few takes, like, you know, 2, 3 takes and got all the verses down.
Ooh.
But getting the harmonies, I sometimes sing my original note instead of the harmony part,
Yeah.
you know, and I just remember this one note. I was singing the harmony correct, except for this one note. I would miss it all the time. And we had to just record it over and over and over. And it just seemed like a half an hour later, I'm still recording just to get one note right.
Yeah.
And now you just push a button
Mm.
and you fix the note.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Have you ever been tempted to re-record it with today's technology?
I don't know.
Hmm.
It would be interesting, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would take away from the feel of it too. I
Yeah.
think some people can almost hear auto tune in a sense. Like nowadays, they can make it where you don't notice it outright,
Yeah.
but everyone pretty much uses it. Even the new songs I've done, it's auto tuned,
Yeah.
but not in a way that you can really notice what it is. But I think it takes away a little of the quality
Yeah.
and just gives it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would take away from the '80s feel of it if I used
Yeah.
new things.
That's true. It would just kind of maybe ruin the whole appeal and everything. And when you're not making music, do you have fun things as well that you like to get up to?
Not anything too exciting, but I like the outdoors, biking, just hiking.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I lived near some mountains because whenever I visit some mountains, I just love to take some hikes
Yeah.
and gardening. I like nature, anything with nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooking, if I'm feeling up to that. I don't like them clean up afterwards though, so
Yeah, that's true. And when you're doing all these things, do they inspire you musically?
yeah, sometimes it's most of the time it's about relationships though. I've written a few songs just about nature in itself, but I think relationships is the key inspiration.
Yeah, as it is for a lot of people, it seems. And what actually got you into music in the first place back in the day?
Wow, it's a long time ago, 30 years. No, I think it was Barry Manilow. I just remember hearing one of his songs and it just affected me so much,
Yeah.
and just realizing the power of that. Or Billy Joel. It was
Yeah.
what was that one song? Oh, I can't think of the name of it, but it was basically just, you know, continue on. And somebody was saying how it prevented them from committing suicide.
Wow.
And it just made me realize how powerful music was, like to affect somebody's life that way just because they heard your song.
Yeah, that's so true. You're making a difference even when it's not really intended.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, where are we able to check out the song Don't Look Back, and also just look out for the future ones coming up and keep up to date with you?
I'm on Facebook, just Facebook, Rich Anthony.
Yeah.
And there's also a website that I use that kind of ties all the streaming platforms together. It's called Songwhip. So if you go to www.songwhip, songwhip.com/Rich Anthony, and it'll pull up all the links for different sites like Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah.
It's pretty convenient.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing to have. Well, thanks very much for joining us here on the show today. It's been great chatting to you.
All right, thanks for having me.